This video is based on publicly available information and is presented for educational and storytelling purposes only. Brandon Swanson was on the phone with his parents. He wasn't panicking. He wasn't screaming. He didn't sound afraid. He was calm, casual, almost normal. Then, without warning, the call went silent. Brandon Swanson has never been seen again. More than a decade later, his disappearance remains one of the most unsettling unsolved cases in America. On the night of May 13, 2008, Brandon Swanson was a 19-year-old college student attending Minnesota West Community and Technical College. He was described by friends and family as responsible, friendly, and deeply connected to his parents. Brandon wasn't known for reckless behavior. He wasn't someone who took unnecessary risks. That night, he attended a small gathering with friends in the rural town of Lynn, Minnesota. It wasn't a party in the traditional sense, just a quiet get-together. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming. Around midnight, Brandon decided to drive home to Marshall, Minnesota, a drive he had made many times before. But at some point during that drive, something went wrong. Shortly after midnight, Brandon's car left the road and slid into a ditch along a gravel highway. Not long after, Brandon called his parents. He told them he wasn't hurt. He said the car wasn't badly damaged, and he believed he was close to the town of Lynn. Concerned but relieved that their son was safe, Brandon's parents immediately got into their car to find him. They stayed on the phone as both vehicles moved through the dark countryside. They flashed their headlights. They exchanged directions. They tried everything they could think of, but they couldn't find him. Something didn't make sense. Brandon insisted he could see the lights of town. His parents insisted they should be nearby. Slowly, the situation became confusing. Brandon's directions didn't match the roads his parents were driving on. Landmarks didn't line up. The distances felt wrong, yet Brandon remained calm. Still believing help was close, Brandon decided to leave the car and walk toward what he believed were nearby town lights. As he walked, he continued describing what he saw. He talked about fences, wide open fields, and at one point, he mentioned hearing the sound of running water. To Brandon, it all made sense. But investigators would later uncover a disturbing truth. Brandon wasn't near Lynn at all. He was actually miles away, near the small town of Porter, Minnesota, walking through unfamiliar farmland in complete darkness. The lights Brandon believed he saw were likely farm lights scattered across the countryside, not the town he thought he was approaching. As Brandon continued walking, his parents suddenly heard him say two words, "Oh shit," and then the line went dead. At first, his parents thought the call had dropped. They tried calling back, again and again, but Brandon never answered. The next morning, Brandon's parents contacted authorities. Search teams were quickly organized. Law enforcement officers, volunteers, helicopters, and tracking dogs combed the area where Brandon was believed to have been walking. They searched fields. They searched ditches. They searched rivers and roads. Days passed. Then weeks. Eventually, Brandon's car was located. Not near Lynn, but closer to Porter. This discovery confirmed what investigators feared. Brandon had been severely disoriented that night. Despite extensive search efforts, no trace of Brandon Swanson was ever found. No phone, no clothing, no personal belongings, nothing. Investigators explored several possible explanations. One theory suggests Brandon may have fallen into the nearby Yellow Medicine River or another body of water, but repeated searches produced no evidence. Another theory suggests Brandon may have been injured, confused, and succumbed to exposure in the cold night air. Yet once again, no physical trace has ever surfaced. Some have speculated that Brandon may have encountered something or someone that night, but police have never identified any suspects, and there is no confirmed evidence of foul play. Each theory leads to the same unanswered ending. There are no answers. What caused Brandon to say those final words? Did he stumble into something he couldn't see? Did he fall? Did he encounter an unexpected danger in the dark? Or did something else happen, something that has never been discovered? How does someone disappear while actively speaking on the phone without leaving behind a single clue. More than a decade later, the disappearance of Brandon Swanson remains unsolved. His family continues to search for answers. And the mystery of what happened that night still lingers across the quiet Minnesota countryside. If you believe every story deserves to be remembered, subscribe to Unsolved USA, because some mysteries refuse to stay buried.